Well, Quibi is looking to be pretty much a complete disaster, and there's some debate over what the blame should go to, and that's what we're going to talk about. So, hey everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur. Welcome to my vlog slash media channel. I'm probably going to rename the channel soon to the Entrepreneur Media. I think media what we mainly talk about here. Vlogging's not a good business to be in at the moment. And anyway, Quibi. So I have Quibi. I have it for like 90 days. It's, free trial for 90 days. By the way, they've reduced that free trial from 90 days to 2 weeks, so that was truly a limited time offer. But I have been watching Quibi, and it has been a very, how should I say, interesting experience. I'm actually I'm starting to enjoy Reno 911. I think Reno 911 is actually fits very well with the whole short format thing. And I do like the fact that the entertainment is in little bite-sized chunks. So, during lunch break and stuff, I can kind of just watch it and all that jazz. But I don't like a lot of the shows. I think the turnstile thing is more annoying than anything. And I think there's a lot of reasons why no one's jumping onto Quibi. Granted, one of those reasons probably is because it's not a great time to launch a streaming service on their mobile phone when people are on their couches and they want to watch things on the TV. But Quibi is in much dire straits than we originally thought, because they are actually scheduled to lose $500 million. That is... Now, granted, this is not necessarily the kiss of death. Keep in mind, a lot of companies lose money when they launch. It's just, this was a little unusual because people thought that, frankly, with people at home and having a lot of free time on their hands, that maybe people would actually, sign up for new streaming services. Streaming services are doing so much better than they usually are. But Quibi is a unique example because Quibi is on your phone, it's not on your TV, and so I don't think the Quibi was designed for workers on the go. Like, hey, you watch like a little 10-minute episode while you're on the bus or on your break or something like that. It's basically YouTube 2.0, where it's like same basic concept, 10 minutes or less, except unlike user-generated content, it's studio-generated content. Like, look at this little picture here. You've got Anna Kendrick and Liam Hemsworth and that Chrissy girl, I forget her last name, sorry. But here's what this article says. Oh, Quibi, Quibi, Quibi. Like Icarus, you flew too close to the sun with wings made of wax. And by that, I mean you attempted to launch a new streaming service that no one seemed particularly interested in. And it looks like it's going to cost you to the tune of $500 million. However, Quibi isn't out of business, yes, and the short-form streaming service still has enough money to keep its lights on, but for how long? Well, apparently at least the rest of the year. So, anyway, $500 million. But here's the thing. Quibi, this isn't what caught Quibi to trend on Twitter, because a few days ago, Quibi was trending on Twitter, and I was hoping that maybe it was because there was a show people were watching, and it's like, hey, there's this great show, and you can only watch it on Quibi, but that's not what happened, because, of course, if you're trending on Twitter, it's not for anything good. The reason Quibi was trending on Twitter was because of this article, where he blamed the pandemic for Quibi's rough start. In fact, this was the main quote that came from the article. I attribute everything that has gone wrong to coronavirus, Mr. Katzenburg said. Everything. This is extremely ignorant, I think. And look, I know it's very easy to shift the blame for a product not doing well to the pandemic. I totally get it. I mean, I think it's too much of a crutch at some point because, Onward says, Disney says, Onward lost money, but it's because of the coronavirus pandemic. It's like, well, Onward, had like a couple weeks before the lockdown occurred, and it wasn't doing that hot anyway, so who knows. But this quote was extremely ignorant, because here's the thing. People want more content. They're inside, they're struggling to they're trying not to be bored, basically. And getting very defiant in that, but that's another story for another day. Now's a great time to launch a streaming service because people are going to, at the very least, give it a try. And the fact that, over 1 million people downloaded it in the first week shows that people were definitely willing to give it a try. However, the word of mouth was poor. The shows, frankly, are not very good. The gimmick where you could hold the phone and turn it and twist it, it's not that big of a deal. And here's the thing. Except for Reno 911 and that LeBron James documentary series, I promise. Oh, also that documentary series about that mayor, corrupt mayor, Run My Way. I think that's what it's called. I can't say there's a lot of shows on there that's worth watching. And I should know because I actually made it my mission for a video that is being edited, and it was going to go on the After Twitter channel. I'm going to put it here instead. This will be our first major edited event video on this channel, if you will. I watched every single Quibi series, minus the news programs, for a review, wrote a script. I've spent more time with Quibi than most people probably have. I can, at least as of this recording, say I have seen everything on Quibi. I'm not sure if that's going to stay the case, but let me tell you, for the most part, that was a slog. That was a slog. There were so many shows on this thing that were frankly terrible. That were frankly absolutely terrible. Hopefully it will make for a very entertaining video when all is said and done. But I agree with Swan Entertainment when she said that Quibi was more annoying than it was worth. I totally agree with that. So here's the thing. I know Jeffrey Katzenburg has to go out and do damage control. I mean, they were singing praises when, like, the first week over 1 million people downloaded it, but then it dropped off significantly. People tried the product, they didn't like it, and they didn't keep it. And that is ultimately the problem. I do believe the coronavirus did affect this to a certain extent, because again, this is not a service that was meant to be viewed at home when you're on the couch. It's meant to be viewed on the go, on a plane, when you're really bored. But when you're stuck at home, you'd rather watch things on TV. I mean, HBO Max will be much, much better received as a result of the pandemic. That said, if there was stuff that was worth watching on it, you wouldn't see people uninstalling it en masse. I think a lot of people signed up for the 90 days and tried it for a couple days and was like, this sucks, and they uninstalled the app. Now, that's dangerous because if they uninstall the app without canceling, they're going to get charged in 90 days, $15. So they might want to keep that in mind. And that's another thing, by the way. I would have a hard time imagining people paying for this. I think a free ad-supported version is going to have to be in the cards, because until you have your killer app, your show that people absolutely cannot live without, then it's going to be very, very hard to convince people to pay for this. And I don't think a lot of people will. So anyway, that's my personal thought on this whole situation. I'm not surprised that Quibi is losing money. I don't know. I mean, it will probably survive at least this year, but how much beyond this year it will survive, I don't know. Reno 911 was a step in the right direction. I would definitely keep a subscription around for new Reno 911. It's really funny, and it was actually using the phone turnstile thing to its advantage. They need more shows like that. For the most part, these shows aren't very good. I think that's why people aren't really gravitating towards it. And yeah, the coronavirus has something to do with it because, again, we're in our houses. We're not on the road, and a service like this isn't that useful. And even if we're on the road, it's going to be very hard to convince people to pay for Quibi when the programming is average, when we can watch YouTube and watch our favorite content creators. That's going to be a very, very difficult thing to convince people to do. But anyway, I would like to know what you all think about this. Do you agree with this assessment? Do you disagree? Are you a fan of Quibi? Have you tried it? What's your thoughts on it? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.